And you are live.
Okay. It is now 1:38, so I call the November 15th, 2022 meeting of the Akron Tree Commission to order. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from the last meeting?
I did.
Motion to approve.
Okay. Second?
Second.
Okay. Take it away.
I'll do a roll call on that. Mr. Aiken,
Aye.
Ms. Viviano, aye. Mr. Fusco,
Aye.
Ms. Bradenberg,
Aye.
and Ms. Wyatt.
Aye.
The motion for the approval of minutes passes 5-0.
Okey doke. We have a logo contest on the agenda. Do you know anything more, Patricia?
Yes, it's a go. They're excited. I've talked to everybody I need to. We just need official proposal. Can you have a official proposal written up?
Okay,
I could forward it on to them. And then-
okay.
Yep.
I'll write up a letter and send it to all of you guys to look at. And then Patricia, when we sign off on it, you can just take it. Okay,
Okay.
great. John, I think this next item under new business is up to you. Correct?
Is it the grant?
Yeah, well, there were a couple of grants. One was the one you had applied for that you heard about between our meetings. And then the other one was how we are going to be involved in your applying for other grants, right?
I'll start with this first one. So the, here, let me pull it up real quick. Okay, so we were awarded the Urban Canopy Restoration Grant through the Ohio Department of Natural Resources. We applied for 25,000 and that's what we'll receive.
Fabulous.
I sat, so it's a 50% match. And we have a couple ways we can do this. We can either go through the contract and have the contract, and that's the simplest way. But it's not very fun I don't think so, but we can have the contractor just do the $25,000 worth of planting. We do an additional 25,000 and that's our 50% match. Or we can, this would be an opportunity for the tree commission to get involved.
Okay.
Where we can plan for a 2023 planting, whatever criteria the commission would like to focus on, whether it's areas of low canopy density with median household incomes under the median household level here in the city. We can have any kind of criteria that the commission would like to focus on.
Okay.
Stormwater benefits, any of that. We can, if you tell me the criteria that you guys would like to seek, I'll pull some stuff up through the Canopy Keeper and through our canopy study and highlight those areas, and we can focus on that. I did sit through the seminar that explained all the criteria we had to abide by, because we'll do the planting and planning, and I can organize, or I'll organize all that through the state urban forester who was assigned to us. But then after the planting event, they come out and inspect to make sure everything was done according to specification.
Okay.
And then we go that way. they're really shooting for like an 1.5 to 2-inch caliper size trees. So these are not large at all.
Right.
These can be either balled and burlapped, which is what we traditionally plant out in the street lawn. They can be containerized, or they can be bare root. So we have a lot of leeway that way, but just to go with a contract, again, it would be the easiest thing to do, but I want to see some involvement, and I think this is a chance for the tree commission to actually get some notoriety with this and have a public involvement.
Okay. Other thoughts? I mean, I'm on board with that, but I'm only one person.
I think that's great. And I think trying to find the areas that need the, and I think it does go by income practically. The areas with a little canopy is probably, we're finding the lower income community, correct? Is that correct, John?
Yeah, you're very correct on that.
Yeah.
Is there a park where we could look at something like this where it would be impactful?
Yeah, what I can do is I'll come up with some areas and submit it to the commission, and we can discuss that at the next meeting. Like I said, this isn't planned until 2023.
Okay.
Everything, the final inspection has to be done before the month of December. So we have at least a couple months here to do some planning and get all our ducks in a row here. But they would just like to do their final inspection by the end of November, beginning of December. So that way, because they have paperwork that they have to submit to the feds as well for reimbursement.
Okay.
And we can use our volunteer hours as in-kind service as our match. So there's a lot of different ways we can do this, and I'm just opening it up to the commission, see what avenue they would like to do.
Okay. Having been a part of the tree planting over at Lane Field, it was a really great experience. And I would hate for you all to have missed that experience. So I think maybe part of this would be a day in which we can open it up to the community to come and help us. But I think it's important for us to understand how this all goes together and the impact it's having on the community. Because I found that many of the people who showed up at Lane Field didn't work for Akron General. They were just people in the area who were glad to see this was going on. So that's my preference. I'm only one person. I may be chair, but I'm still only one person.
Maybe reaching out once you find John, once you find an area or two that this would be appropriate within, maybe we could reach out to some of the groups or the people and say, hey, we're going to do this, we're thinking about blah blah blah. Do you know if any groups, organizations? We could even do like a little flyer type thing. We could do a door drop, which is easy to do. It's just walking. I walk every morning. I'd be happy to walk and drop flyers and say, hey, on this date, we're going to be doing this. So that's easy stuff. It's no brainer. Easy.
Okay. Well, I think that's a go.
Okay.
We'll just work out the details over the next couple of months, and then it would probably be April or May before we could even think about planning.
Yes.
Okay. So we've got plenty of time.
Are you thinking a park, John? A park?
Well, let me run through the criteria that you want me to filter through, and just let me know what is most important. So obviously we have, canopy coverage. but there's the stormwater, surface temperature, air quality, median income, minority population, child opportunity, asthma, mental health, and a tree equity score. All of these have been broken down by pretty much at the census block level. So we can filter this any which way.
Well, it seems to me, what I know about urban trees is that the areas with the highest heat gain are usually the areas with the least tree cover. And then a lot of things fall, that's also the area of the greatest health problems and lowest socioeconomic status. And, they all kind of group together. So I think we could bundle all of those things together and use that as our criteria for choosing.
Okay.
Then I guess what we would do, John, is look to you to pick areas that would fit the criteria. Maybe give us 2 or 3, or you could just narrow it down to 1 and make our jobs really easy, and we'll just go with that.
All right, I'll have that for you for the next meeting here.
Okay.
But I'll break that down and send some screenshots and put it in a presentation for you.
Okay, great. Okay, well, congratulations on getting that grant.
Yeah, they don't do it often, but I mean, when these grants come up, I mean, we've always asked for the maximum amount and have been pretty successful on that.
Good. Okay, next item on the agenda is basically how we can be involved as you apply for grants.
So this is the only one that has come up so far.
Okay.
I'm anticipating with the infrastructure bill that was passed earlier in the year that more and more of these will be coming up, just for the simple fact that they had a section in there about healthy streets, and I've never seen it at the federal level until now, but they actually specifically call out tree planting and operations. So as these come about, I would really like the commission to be more involved and have more of a front face on that.
Okay. Anybody have a problem with that?
Absolutely not.
What?
No, go ahead, Jim.
Oh, I said I have no problem.
Okay. I didn't think so, but you got to ask.
Same here. I'm with Jim on this one.
Okay. So you'll just keep us informed, and we'll tell you you'll tell us what we can do for you.
Right.
Basically. But one of your comments kind of brings up, at this point, we're still sort of reacting to what John brings to us, street tree complaints, grant applications, that kind of stuff. And I think, at least this is my preference, that we become more proactive in working with John in figuring out where the next planning needs to go. We've got the whole education piece to put together. And John, I'd like your guidance on that, but I think there are things that we could cover, besides the economic and the health benefits of trees, the whole idea of biodiversity and habitat retention. Because we're losing trees in the city like crazy, and we can't afford to do that, in terms of our health, in terms of climate change, in terms of a lot of things. So, and I think, and maybe this might be time for another lunch meeting, to just get together and brainstorm some ideas on how we can do that. You know, and John will guide us. Yes, this works. No, this doesn't. But that we not wait for opportunities to make ourselves known, but that we create opportunities for us to be known. And so I would really appreciate, well, we're coming up on holiday season. Maybe right after the first of the year, let's have an early January lunch meeting, and we can meet someplace other than a restaurant, you know, and get food in. We do have money, and just kind of throw some of this stuff out. And I know you folks who work for a living will set a date so you can clear your calendars as much as possible, maybe for a morning or an afternoon. So,
Madam Chair, I just want to bring it to your attention that for us to meet and deliberate, it does still need to be an open meeting.
but that means basically we publish that we're going to be meeting and what time and where.
Correct.
Okay. Now, we will not be making any decisions. You know, this is just going to be brainstorming. You know, whatever we decide there will come back to this venue and be decided on. But I have no problem. You know, how many people go online to find out when the tree commission is meeting? But you're right. Okay. Anything else on our agenda? Oh, yeah, I'm really sorry you folks didn't get the history that Jeff wrote up. He and I massaged it a little bit and out probably 45 minutes before the meeting. And I didn't send myself a copy, and I don't see it in my sent file. So right after this meeting, I'll send it out, and then we can talk about it for next meeting. But this will be basically the piece that will go on the website along with all of the other information. So when Stephanie Martian and her folks create our page, you know, we'll have this information for the public. And then we'll just, as we do things, we'll just add more information. So, but Jeff spent a lot of time on it, and he came up with an interesting fun fact that Warren Manning, who's responsible for a lot of the layout of parts of Akron, was born exactly 156 years before the tree commission or the tree ordinance was passed. So, you know, little fun fact.
Yeah. And also on top of that too, and I didn't add that as part of, and what I mentioned before, Sarah, was that we could maybe add it later, but talking to John yesterday, even we had found, and I think this is something, like I said, you know, developing a social media type of a presence, I think it would be smart for us.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, pushing out something like this, because people just don't know. They don't know, they just react, like you mentioned earlier. But Warren Manning, what he said was in one of the publications, and for everybody's edification, Warren Manning, he laid out the Stan Hewitt, Goodyear Heights, what was it? The Fairlawn Heights.
Yeah.
Also, it was part of the Biltmore, wherever that's located. I just know everybody knows Biltmore. And then he was part of the team that did Central Park in New York. He worked in like thousands of areas. His work has been recognized by Congress as being historically significant, but he also worked in Akron, which is important, I think, for us. But one of his publications said that a neighborhood or a city, you know, a successful progressive city ought to have at least 8% of their city ought to be dedicated to parks and recreation. And so I called up our friend John, and I said, hey, how many acres of parks do we have? And of course, quickly he got me the information. And I think I calculated like 8.4, 8.2%. Warren Manning said 8% that's where you should try to be. So, and we're there.
We're
So
there.
that's kinda cool.
That's
That's kind of cool.
That's good. That's good. We're overachievers.
And if you look at other cities comparing us to those, we're pretty much we're a league leader whenever it comes to parks and recreation in our city. So open spaces, and I think John mentioned our mowing budget reflects that, and that's why I'm thinking like going into a park and maybe making a park like, just for an example, like a Joy Park or something, maybe dedicating a small section of that area toward a wooded area, something like that.
Mhm.
Down the road, I don't know, just an idea, but
No, I think it's a great idea. So anything else anybody wants to bring up? I will get Patricia
Yes.
her go ahead, and I'll be sending that out to you probably later this afternoon, because I find if I don't do it right away, sometimes it gets lost.
Her, and I told her that I would have her something official. I just gave her the talking notes, talked to her about the notes that you gave me, and so that we have something official after our next meeting.
Okay. And well, if that's it.
I have one more.
Okay, good.
Yeah, our budget,
Yes.
have we done anything at all? Or I apologize. Last few weeks have been somewhat of a blur with the election and everything, but
Yeah. I'm not quite sure what to do, who I even talk to. And I'm assuming, Sarah, do you know who would administrate that money? Yeah, so,
I would assume public service.
okay.
Their budget.
Okay, who would you need to talk to?
I'll get with Mr. Luddle.
Okay.
if we can, and I think there's some wisdom in, as opposed to hurrying and trying to do something with it, anything, just asking Mr. Aiken if we could just ask for a carryover into 23. That way we can be more intentional and, see where.
Okay. Hey, Maria, you on?
Yeah, I know we want to design literature and
Yes.
things like
Do we
that.
Is you know anything about the budget there? How much?
No, I do not have any idea on the budget.
Okay, I'll
But
get with you.
as I can contact finance and see if they have any information.
Perfect. Thank
Okay.
you.
I know we have 25,000. And Patricia, I don't think any of our city folks will be eligible for this, but I promise you we will be paid our wonderful $25 meeting.
That's funny.
It's the principle.
Yeah, the project code is already in Workday, Maria.
All
and
right.
it is 25,000.
All right. Thank you.
Hey, John, that's operating budget, correct?
I don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
It was in the capital budget.
Was it capital? Okay. I think, okay. I'll double check and make sure it's still in for next year.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if there is nothing else, the meeting is adjourned. See you all in December. Happy Thanksgiving.
Same to you.